To deal with. I think we all have.
I was shaking my head as you were saying. I'm like, oh yeah.
Well, actually, you know what? Maybe you are one of those people.
Uh-oh. Every job comes with these challenges, and two experts are here to help us navigate your way through. Christine Lambden and Casey Connor, and they're the authors of the book, Everyday Practices of Extraordinary Consultants. Now, this is interesting. You write about a lot of people I think we all know at work. Without naming names, maybe they don't know who they are, but we all could make our list, right?
You know it. You know it.
And in your book, you have a list of the 13 people. Explain the 13 people that what?
Well, we gave them names, but the 13 most annoying people to work with.
Oh, man, I have my list. Doug, what's yours?
Well, I'll just keep that to myself for the time being.
He likes his job.
That's the first list of maintaining a job, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Don't name names.
Well, let's talk about the
13,
list.
Yeah, there's 13 don'ts that we want to talk about.
We gave them names like Pontification Man, who is the guy who tells you what he's going to say, and then he says it, and then he tells you what he just said. So he goes on and on and on.
So he's got his mantra, and he repeats it ad infinitum, ad nauseum.
Absolutely. And his buddy Buzz.
Say, but he says it a lot.
Okay.
Well, Casey, what's the next one?
There's Man, who always says and breaks every sentence up into you know, like. I'm going to tell you something, and he's the winner of the Olympics.
Okay. And the ultimate effect of his being in charge is that he just does not really seem like he knows what's going on.
He makes one constant. Yeah, he makes one constant sound, and it's hard to actually hear what he's trying to tell you. Right.
And his credibility comes into question, and that's the big thing that we're trying to do with all of these people is say, here are some ways you can preserve your credibility, is don't be those guys.
Right.
Don't be any of those people.
If you sense yourself saying and a lot, I guess the lesson to yourself is prepare before you open your mouth and insert foot.
And stop
Indeed.
When you're finished.
Okay.
Yeah, it's all about it's not looking at other people, really. You don't want to become that annoying guy police at the office. You want to take a look at yourself and try to not be the annoying guy.
Right.
I think there's always that person in a meeting or in an office-like setting that feels like the more they say, the more they sound involved, in control, that they're contributing. So that would be that guy.
Yeah.
What other guys make the list?
The disagrees with everything man. That person who starts out as the devil's advocate, he's just really bringing the voice of reason. He's useful until he gets to a point where he can't do anything else. All he can do is disagree with everything, and then you ignore him. You tune him out. He's given up his influence in every meeting by being that guy.
The office contrarian.
That's
contrarian. Good label. Good label.
That's a very good label.
Well, that's an example of some of them. Now, how do we learn to live with these people?
The best thing you can do is really turn it to yourself and say, how can I really not be that person in the office? If you start looking for it, you're going to see it all around you, and it's going to drive you mad. So the best thing to do is find a credibility partner at the office. You go over the list together and think of other ones and say, make sure I'm not that guy.
And when you talk about a credibility person, someone you can trust, you mean? Someone that's not going to go talk behind your back?
Right. Somebody who wants to help you, wants to see your career succeed, and that you can do the same for them. So you help each other in meetings and everywhere else and make sure that you're not that guy.
Now, your book, The Everyday Practices of Extraordinary Consultants, is geared to the business of consultancy, but it applies to anybody who works in the modern American workplace today. But just to deal on a little bit of the aspect of consultancy, a lot of people are doing this nowadays because a lot of people have lost their job, but they have great expertise, and so they feel they can be of value as a consultant. But that's a really difficult tightrope to walk, because you're entering into a new corporate culture that you may not be familiar, and you want to provide your services to them. You want to be marketable. You want to get a paycheck from them, but you don't want to go against the grain too much where you're seen as offensive. That's a fine line.
A huge part of success in consulting or any other business where you move around a lot is being able to make friends quickly and being able to carry your influence from job to job. You don't want to become the annoying guy or any innumerable other problems, because you'll lose the ability to influence your clients. That's a lot of what's in the book. It tells you how to go into business to be a consultant.
Now, what if I was, not that I am, the annoying girl at work?
Yes, you are.
I'll get you later. How do I turn myself around if I'm known as that person, you know?
90% of it is becoming aware of what it is you're doing. So if you have somebody who says, you know, you clear your throat between every sentence, it's very annoying. If you have someone who tells you that, just being aware of it will begin to change it. The other thing is anything you make a conscious choice about, and it takes about 30 days to develop a new habit. Replace it with something that's less annoying.
But I think nobody wants to tell you that. You know, we don't tell those people.
Yeah, you need somebody who really wants you to succeed more than they want to avoid hurting your feelings.
Now, do you, in the modern American workplace, a lot of people get performance reviews.
Yearly evals, evaluations.
Now, should you take those to heart, and should you base these kinds of behaviors on what might be said in a performance review?
I think it's like a golf swing. If you try to work on too many things at one time, you're going to break it. So focus on the really important key things. Try to change one thing at a time. And wait until you improve. As she said, 30 days to build a new habit. Just work on them over time, and people will see the corrections happening.
Now, these are things that you can work on yourself. In some cases, these are simply personality traits that you have had throughout your course of your life. Maybe you need something more than a self-help book. Maybe you need professional help. Do you ever get into that kind of thing, or is that something that you would recommend?
I'll tell you first. The expert on professional help. I will say I haven't seen anything that couldn't be changed once it was clearly identified that was really just an annoying habit. Now, there are some issues that obviously bigger things. What we're really looking at is your work habits. And so I don't think a book is going to solve any problem. Reading the book, taking it to heart, and actually applying it will solve the problem. We've had several people say, I bought your book and I didn't get any better. Did you read it?
Take it into consideration.
I don't mean to sound trite, but
everybody wants a simple fix. So when in doubt, just bribe your bosses and your coworkers to like you.
The key thing is to make a decision
Kinda like
to
high
improve.
school?
Right.
Yeah.
Once you make that decision, the rest will fall into place. But it's like quitting smoking or anything else. You make a decision.
And it takes time. It's not overnight. We like those overnight fixes. Well, Casey Connor, Christine Lambden, thank you so much for being in. The name of the book, Doug,
Everyday Practices of Extraordinary Consultants. And if you do find this in your mailbox at work,
we sent it to you. Someone called us and said, can we have a copy of that book? It's a message. Next on Let's Talk Live, we're